last week I was at Spark Together. It's our story-focused marketing conference where we invite marketers, business leaders to tell business story that they haven't told before and that they won't tell again. And my favorite story was from my friend Scott Heimendinger. Scott actually invented the consumer sous vide, and most recently he invented the the ultrasonic knife. So ultrasonic slicing technology has existed. It's how bread gets sliced before it's packaged and sold at grocery stores, right? Um,
That's why it's so smooth.
that's why it is so smooth and it's straight and perfect. And now
Yeah.
Scott has invented a chef's knife that uses ultrasonic technology. So ultrasonic technology it basically vibrates really quickly and in a very small way. Like if you're holding the knife, you won't feel it vibrate, but it is doing it. And it also makes it such that it doesn't squish the food that you're cutting into, and the food does not stick to the knife. Right? So you know how usually when you're cutting potatoes, the starches stick to the knife and you have to wipe it off? With this ultrasonic knife, the potatoes won't stick. So Scott told his story about how, he decided to make this, thought it would be a 6-month project, ended up becoming a 6-year project. And he opened pre-orders a couple months ago. He did this long demo video for YouTube. I think it's like a 20-minute video. It is not short. It's very thorough where he just explains how it works and how he made it. And what was amazing was it got 500,000 views in a week. Crazy viral. And by and large, the comments are just like, this is so cool. Like, wow, it's clear this guy really knows what he's doing. Like, really nice and supportive comments. He sold a ton of pre-orders. It's expensive. And we'll link to it in the
Yeah,
show notes,
I
friends.
was looking at it here. It's $400.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? I paid how much for my Dyson Airwrap? And this is probably going to be far more useful, right? Because it's like if
That's
you're cooking
true.
every day
Yeah.
and using it every day, obviously
Yeah.
the value of it per use
Yeah.
is lower than that.
Totally.
So
And it's made of really beautiful materials. Like, it's made
mhm,
from Japanese steel.
mhm,
The charging tile is made of mahogany. Um, a lot of love and care went into this. And look, if you buy a nice chef's knife, you're probably gonna spend at least
mhm,
$250 anyway, so it is an expensive product. But then what's also cool about it is that if the battery died or if you don't turn it on, it functions like a normal sharp knife.
hmm,
You can still use it,
mhm,
kinda like the way I think it's a Mitch Hedberg joke, but like the
mm,
way escalators just become stairs
yeah.
when they don't work. It's kinda like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
And also we got to demo the knife at Spark Together. So I got to try it out. It was crazy,
Well,
crazy.
Christmas is coming up, y'all. So if you
Yeah.
have, need to buy a gift or something to think
Yeah.
about. Something I want to, call out here that this kind of reminded me of, and that I think is really cool, is what you said about like the YouTube video of him really diving in deep and like talking about like the science behind it and how it works, why it works, showing the different examples. I was just looking at the video of how like the, manufacturing one works. And it, kind of called back to, two different things. One was the original thing that we talked about here was the new Dyson vacuum, the pencil vacuum, right? Where it's like the whole point of it is you're diving deep into like the science behind it and talking about how the whole system works and how that is what you're using to market the product to people, because you're like showing them like, look, this is actually really cool of like how it sucks in things, right? And how this works different to the other vacuums that you're used to, and why it's manufactured better, and why the science works, and why the engineering works. And the second one is the Ryan Coogler like Kodak, example of him talking about the IMAX and like the sounds and the different like cameras that you're using. And I think it's like this whole way of like really showing the knowledge that like you have, and that like that all of that intention that goes into why you've made the product the way that you have, that shows not only how much you care about the product, but just like all the research and knowledge that you as a person and all the trouble that you had to go to make this product the way that it is. And I think that's really cool, right? Because it's like another way of like talking positively about the product and why it's actually so cool, right? We were talking about that last week with Christina, right? Like one of the reasons why it annoys us, the whole like friend AI thing, is that they're putting all this money behind marketing it, right? And just, getting people angry and like, doing the billboards and the, bus ads and all that. And then you go read the reviews about the actual product and nobody likes it, and even the people that want to like it, the people in tech that like wanted to buy it to like use it, like non-ironically, right? That I genuinely wanted to use the product are like, I'm bummed because like I wanted to like it and I don't because it does nothing, right? And it's like this whole thing of like, what if he puts all that effort and all that time? The amount this guy took 6 years to make this product, right? How long did the Dyson take? Like, how long did, all that take to make the product that's out there and that people are raving about, and it's like instead of putting all that energy into, coming up with the marketing idea, like put some of that into the product itself and like get people to like it and then use the word of mouth, or some other form of marketing, right? Like he put together this video, right? That is marketing, to show the intent behind it and have that be the reason you succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, totally worth watching the video
Uh-huh.
because it is Scott through and through. It's a really
Mhm.
thorough, like, super thorough video.
Mhm.
He even, like, responded to a bunch of the comments. It's so much fun, and I'm super rooting for him. He's a great guy,
Yeah.
nicest person, like, ever,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
See, and, like, that's the thing. Now I'm like, "Okay, I'm a fan of, like, the company, and I just want him to succeed," because it's like,
Yeah.
"Wow, you actually put so much thought and care into this, and, like, I want you to succeed purely for that?" And, same as, like, the Dyson. I like the company now because of all everything that goes into, having created the vacuum, which then helped them make the hair dryer, which then helped them inform, the vacuum again, like, that's cool, you
Yeah,
know?
totally.